Perfect. Let me admit. Awesome. Okay, well, welcome everyone. Today is Wednesday. This is my let's talk about multifamily weekly Zoom call, and just a little housekeeping here. We're going to be I'm going to let people in, Juliet, as you're speaking. That way we don't hold you back from anything. So I'll be kind of doing both things at the same time. And
Okay.
and then if anyone that shows up has any questions, we'll also open it up for Q&A as well. So
Okay.
just a little bit about myself. My name is Annabelle Pacheco, and I'm a real estate broker. I've been in business for 25 plus years and started my journey in the mortgage industry, and did that for a few years. And while I was doing mortgages, I decided that that was also a really good time to become an investor. And I was in the early 90s when there were still a good amount of properties available to purchase. And so, we'd rehab, flip, and I've probably done throughout my career over 100 rehabs just throughout. Did that for a while and then deviated a bit, went out of real estate into the restaurant industry, built a restaurant from ground up as well, and established, and just pretty much we worked it for about 7 years until we were able to turn around and sell that. And honestly, that was one of the happiest days of my life when I was able to hand over the key to someone else that wanted to be a restaurant owner. So went back into real estate. Real estate's really been my bread and butter, and that's all we've ever done, and what I've always done, and just decided that this is the route I wanted to take, and focused on working with just residential, like just retail, like representing buyers on sales of their homes and purchases of their homes. And again, during this time, the market was, this is when all the short sales were, those were the opportunities. And I remember seeing, I wasn't in any financial situation at that time to purchase properties, but I remember seeing, representing sellers that needed to short sell, and then representing those buyers purchasing these deals. And I saw how much money was made during that time. It was incredible. I mean, I was selling homes, right, at a short sale price, which was they were picking it up at a great price, and within a year everything had doubled in value. Well, throughout that time, I did come in, I would say I came in contact with a handful of opportunities that I presented to clients of mine, and you know what, anyway, worked out a great deal. And all I can say is the market was great for my clients. It was great for me. And then throughout that time, and I've just been involved in rehabbing and flipping and sales and all of that. I made a goal that I wanted to go into the multifamily space, and I had a mentor who had done it and had been very successful, and thought, you know what, this is exactly what I want to do. And it was a 5-year plan. I mean, multifamily investing is not a get rich overnight thing, and it's not you just go out and buy. This took time. And you know what, we planned and decided, we focused in an area, a market that we wanted to invest in. And I really just became like hyper focused in that area and learned as much as I could about that area. And I studied the market. I looked at my competition. I looked at what was out there, so that when the opportunity presented itself, I was ready to take action, because I had done so much work and I'd really studied the market, that I knew when I saw this property come up that it was a good deal. And so invested out of state. I live in California. I'm investing in Texas and in Ohio, and have been doing so ever since. And honestly, I think it's definitely it's a platform that I'm happy to be at. I love I love what it has created. And the reason for this platform is just to bring people together that are looking to learn more about multifamily and that want to invest in multifamily. So that's just a little about myself. I want to introduce Paul Kraus, who is my multifamily partner, helps me run this call weekly. Paul, how are you?
Here we go. Now I'm unmuted. I'm good, and I'm sorry I'm late. But
No, how did it go? He's got some really exciting news. How did it all go?
yeah, no, it was great. Yeah, big signing day for the Sun. More to come on that. But no, it was exciting,
That's great.
and onwards and upwards, right?
Very good. That's great.
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Paul.
yeah, sure. I've had two lifetimes so far since graduating college. My first was as a stockbroker, and second was in real estate when I got in 2006. And at that time, I started as a wholesaler and flipper, and become very interested in flipping houses in a really short period of time. So I decided to get my realtor's license in 2007. I did a very short stint with a commercial brokerage called Marcus Millichap. And then I decided I wanted to I kind of wanted to do my own thing. And I did that for a little while until I worked for Invitation Homes, and I worked for them for just under 5 years. And so now I'm in multiple partnerships, and I do almost everything out of state. The thing that I tell my property management company is it doesn't matter if I'm in California or if I'm in Florida or if I'm in Arizona. My office is above your office. Okay. There's no distance between us. So if you have property management, there is zero distance between where you live, where you work, and your property management company. Because as far as I'm concerned, my office is always above theirs. And if things are happening that need my attention, I'm a phone call away. I'm a walk upstairs away. We can use technology smartly these days, using Zoom, using FaceTime. There's a whole host of apps that we can use that take all of that distance and eliminate it to zero. So and Annabelle, I always say, is my whole reason why I believed moving into multifamily made so much sense, because her story was very inspirational to me, and which is why I love hosting the show with her, because what she was able to do out of state, and just really realize the kind of life-changing profits that are available if you do some homework, that it all came together for me. So Annabelle is my inspiration, and that's why I'm on the call. And so what do we got for the agenda today, Annabelle?
Thanks. That's nice. I know you always say that, and honestly, I mean, it's humbling. I didn't know that I was an inspiration to you, but thank you.
You know that.
I know. Thank you, thank you. So today we have a really special guest speaker. She is Juliet Adams. She's a friend and a business partner, and this lady is just, I love her determination. I love, she's a mother. She's got two little ones, right? And I know, because I've been there. I know how it is. And but what I love is that she's always striving for the big stuff. She's like, I'm not gonna do this little stuff. I'm going straight for the big stuff. So it's like, I'm like, you know what? She tells me the other day she's got this deal, this big deal. And I'm like, what? You've got to come on my call. You've got to share this with everyone, because these are the deals that people want to hear about, and they don't really get to hear about it. So Juliet, welcome to the call. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here. So just a little bit about me. I've been in the real estate industry just shy of 20 years. Started in lending with Countrywide Home Loans. So I got my background and understanding of how the finance works with real estate from a lender's perspective. After that, my career ended shortly after Countrywide was taken over by Bank of America. And then I went into development in downtown LA and worked with a developer by the name of Jeffrey Palmer and wanted to get into residential high-rise luxury projects. So I was part of the leasing up team with these projects, give or take, they're like 800 units per building. And that was my responsibility to get them leased up. Once I got those leased up, I said I wanted to do something bigger. I already knew what to do with property management and leasing a new development site. So then I went into commercial, worked with one of the top 5 brokerages, Colliers International, and started as an analyst. And really, that's when I really got a better understanding of real estate. We worked with a ton of Fortune 100 companies, so I got my experience in writing and understanding pro formas, all the financials that every big investor in acquisitions would ask for. So I was with Colliers International, and then I got recruited by a competitor of ours because, you know, it's just a small industry in the commercial world, by Jones Lang LaSalle. So I was with Jones Lang LaSalle, and I was with a very large brokerage team, but we did a lot of deals. The largest deal that we closed was 33 million, and it was a ton of fun, and I learned a lot from it. And I would say my experiences from those 2 brokerages is what's given me the drive to do these bigger deals, because I've done it before in a team setting, but now I have the full capability and the skill sets to do it on my own. So that's what I'm doing, and wanted to present the group with one of my clients development projects in the state of Colorado. So there's 2 projects. One the first is a mixed use commercial development site. There is going to be retail, a hotel, restaurants, and then the part where I come in is on the residential side. This developer is building 6 10-plex units, so a total of 60 houses, and it's directly off of the Colorado River, off of the I-70 freeway. This parcel is connected has rights to the Colorado River. So a boat launch is going to be built from that property directly to access the river. My client is looking for equity partners for these projects. We currently own the land. So right now we're just looking for partners to get, construction going on that. I do have a pro forma for that if anyone wants to dig in deeper into the numbers, but I do have all those numbers broken down of how it will look like. So I can share that later if anyone needs it. The second project is a spec project.
I'm sorry. Do you have the renderings? Can you share the renderings with the group so that at least they can see how cool it looks?
I'm trying to figure out
you can share your screen.
Is it share screen?
Annabelle can let you share your screen.
Okay, can you share? Can you guys see that?
Perfect.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Oh man, perfect. It's looking weird on my side, but okay, if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
So does it need to be zoomed in? Is that okay?
No, it's perfect.
It's perfect.
Okay. Yeah. So where you can see I'm hovering my mouse on the south side of the project, this is where you're going to have the 10 units. It's coded as number 10 on the legend right here onto the left. That's showing 60 units. Now, we did have about a little over a month ago, we had another interested party, but this group, they invest in 120 units and up. So what we did is we had our architect redraft this. So I also have the rendering for 120 units. Of course, if we do the 120 units, the square footage of everything else gets adjusted. So those are 2 options with this project. And here's a pro forma. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. And the developer is currently working on a revised one for the 150 units. So contract place, they paid 100,000 towards the land. They're now paying 6,000 a month. It comes due of April of next year.
Okay, so Juliet, let's walk through this a little bit just so that people can understand. Because it's an exciting project, and I'm sure you have a lot that you want to cover about it. But there might be some people on this call that actually want to get into a little bit of the details of, well, if they were to be involved, then they would want to understand a little bit about, if they got involved, then what would be in it for them. And I think your revenue estimates might even be a great place for you to kind of start, because that component of your slide is kind of, that's the very first thing I noticed is, whoa, the net sales could be $23 million off of 60 units. So can you talk a little bit about that part of it?
The revenue estimates?
Yes.
So, yes. And this is all of the assumption of the sales price of $375 a unit, right? And this is as of today's market. So, it's pretty, the sale 2.4 for the 6 lots, right? They're going to be sold as paper lots. And each of the units will be 1,000 square feet. Right. So we're going to be adding 60,000 square feet of residential space. If we were to sell each unit, we project $375 a unit. That comes out to 22.5 in gross. In gross sales, it's 24.9, right? Then we assume that broker's commission, 6%. So we're doing the net, we're calculating the net around 23 is what, based off of the assumption.
So this is really cool. So in other words, what you're saying is $23 million worth of sales off of a $13 million development cost.
Right.
And if we didn't look at the contract price, if we didn't look at the land acquisition or anything like that, what that breaks down to is, over the course of 60 houses, that's about $161,000 of profit. So if you're selling those at $375, you're selling those almost at 50% of the actual the cost itself to build. It's a little bit more. It's like, the cost to build is probably maybe a little bit more like 55 or 60, but that's a huge spread that you're talking about. Because at $375, I'm going to do some quick math for everybody. That's about it. So $213,000 cost for each house creates $161,000 of profit. That's a pretty big number. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty big number. So, yep. Another way folks could look at that is to say, well, if it's 213 to build. Wow. Is that really is that like a 70%?
You're almost doubling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This developer has been doing it for about 40 years already with his partner. His partner is based out of Vermont. So they grew up in Santa Barbara together. So been doing this for quite some time. And then we actually have another project that I have to work on next in Oklahoma, but I need to get these going first.
Perfect.
That's great. Okay. So it's a little bit more like around 147,000 per unit and profit. And that spread between the two, you're over 30%. You're creating more than 30% of profit, which even if the market softened by 5% overnight, you still got over 25% of margin there. So that's like, when people are looking for opportunities in real estate, to be able to buy something 70 cents on the dollar that, essentially that they know will be worth, a dollar when they go to sell it, but to only pay 70 cents. I mean, who would not do that deal? I mean, because even if you're paying 8 to 10% on that money, to borrow that money, your profit is still 20 cents on every dollar that you've invested. that's that's at least a double or if not a triple in our business.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to slow you down just so we could highlight that point to some of the
Yeah.
people that are either on the call now or might watch this
Yeah,
in the near future, because this is a deal that you're working today. So,
right.
Now, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I mean, this is definitely a good time since we're talking about this.
No questions? Okay. I do have a second project to present as well, same developer. This is going to be a spec project. It's a 5,800 square foot home in Aspen. I'm going to pull it up right now.
Okay.
Oh, 1 second. Okay, everyone can see that.
Mhm.
So it's in an area called Medicine Bow in Aspen. Now, these are the renderings from the architect. Right now, it's just land. Now, all of the views that you do see are the real, we did have a photographer go to the site. So this is all, the actual site. So here's the rendering of the property. You can see there needs to be a lot of grading on this property.
Mhm.
Okay, here's a site plan with the envelope of what it will look like. And then here's a view from the pool.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And then here is the floor plan. You can see that, and then we also have this one for the second building.
and Juliet, just be aware that in the chat, some people may put their information to share. So
Okay.
Augie put their information as well. So before you leave the
Oh,
call
okay.
today, we just want to make sure that you knew that some people might jump in on the chat and ask for additional information. So I just
Okay.
want to give you a heads up to that. And
Okay, thank you.
Augie, like for sure, I'm sure that you don't have to worry. Juliet will get you information.
Yes. And then here is just the last page of the materials that they anticipate to use.
Juliet, one question about this Aspen project. If somebody was interested in buying out the developer on this, is there a price to just sell out the deal at this point?
We have not had discussions on that.
Okay.
So it's open for conversation though.
Okay. Yeah, please, if
How
you
much?
could find out and let us know, that would be great, because this might be something actually that, depending upon if you guys would be interested in selling it, there might be some people who would like to work through this land.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of 1031 money out there right now, not just in just investors in Colorado, but nationwide, that maybe those investors have invested, and they might look at this land alone and find that it is something that they would like to probably work through, or
Right.
maybe even for a portion of their 1031, maybe
Yes.
land bank some money on, because it's got so much potential to it based
Yes.
on some of these drawings here. So if you could let
Okay.
us know if that's a possibility, and I'm going to put my information in there as well.
Please do. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And then I just pulled up the parcel where it's located in relation to the neighboring parcels. It's this one right here where I'm hovering my mouse over. That's the parcel. So you have Snowmass Village right here. And this is the property right there.
How big is the parcel?
The parcel, ooh, I don't know at the top of my head, but I can get you that. Oops. Let me go to the plat. I'll get you that information. I'll send you that.
And what's the deal on this one?
So this one, it could be two options. You can do a buy and hold, or we can develop it. So just because of the land value in that area. So
Okay.
he's open to that.
Okay.
But if we do sell it, we already have relationships with local real estate media magazines to get some press on this. So we do have that somewhat lined up, just in talks of getting some PR on this project.
I can easily see there being a lot of interest in this.
Yeah.
You know, even as a land bank option, just
Yes.
because of its proximity. Mountain property during COVID, like some people might be aware, went crazy price wise, demand wise. Idaho, Colorado, Montana, all of the mountain states, even Arizona, all the way down to Arizona. There was a lot of buying activity. So I could easily see there being interest in this.
Mm-hmm. Aspen's a great market.
Nice. Do we have a number, a price?
No, we do not. We're looking around 7 million to start with for this project.
And
But of course,
7
you
is
know,
the construction budget.
the construction budget for this one, I don't have the numbers because they are still working on those.
Oh, got
I
it.
just reached out to him this morning to get them, and they're still working on those numbers
Okay.
The 7 million is for what?
to get the construction up and going.
Okay, so, okay, got it.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
How long are they forecasting the construction to take?
We have not discussed that. So I will get that information. I don't know. I don't have that answer at the moment.
So if
But
anyone is interested, I recommend you put your info on the chat, and then Juliet or us, or I mean, we can get back to you with some more information. I mean, I think this was more to just kind of present the opportunity. And once Juliet gets more information, I'm sure she'd be more than happy to come back and let us all know if there's anyone that's interested. But definitely put your info on the chat. That would be helpful.
Okay.
All righty, sounds good.
Mm-hmm. You were going to say something else, I think, Juliet?
No, just if anyone else has any other requirements, I would love to hear it just from other states, because of course we're always talking to people, seeing how we can connect the dots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, Juliet, the other thing too about the property, since it's just got so much possibility as an upscale development. The other thing is there might be some people on this call that know other people that are looking for their next development opportunity. So, you know, whether there's a JV opportunity with Juliet's team on this or not, it might be something that they might want to look at to see if this is, something that if they are looking for some kind of development and they've got great, if that client has great lines to financing, could be a thing where, Juliet's team sells this deal out to a different developer, a developer who maybe really is looking to sink their teeth into something, but maybe they just don't, maybe they're coming up short on other deals that they're penciling out. I'm imagining that if you guys are putting $7 million into this deal, that you're thinking that the after repair value has got to be over 12. I would imagine, and
Yes,
potentially even
absolutely.
more. Is that fair to say?
Yep, that's what we have already anticipated. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you go back to that image, that picture that you had, where it kind of shows a couple of the views? Because I think so. That's where the dirt is right now. And is there
Correct.
a street that exists to get to this land?
Yes. So let me show you give me one. Right here. Can you see right here?
Yes.
Yes. So here's the cul-de-sac. It's at the end of a cul-de-sac.
Got it. Okay.
And here's the parcel again. And you can see the road right here, Medicine Bow Road.
Okay, got it.
right
Perfect.
there. Yeah, and then this, of course, is all the grading that needs to be done.
Sure.
Yeah, but here's the one, and then is that the one you wanted to see? There's another.
Well, I want to see the
Oh, wait.
views. There we go. So that's the infinity pool right there. And what's kind of interesting is that you can see one neighbor, which looks like they are about 5 acres away off to the
Right here.
right there that you're circling.
Mm-hmm.
And then that neighbor appears to be like another 3 acres away from their neighbor, which is a little bit more to the left. And that one
Okay.
seems to be another 3 acres away. So this gives you absolutely a great layout of where your neighbors would be in comparison to this property. And there is just a huge amount of space in between everybody.
Yeah.
And
Too,
I guess
because
the
this
only
is an
other,
end lot as well.
okay. And then did you say you did know the total amount of lot that comes with this property?
No, I need to verify that with first. I
Okay,
need to pull
great.
because on this parcel map it's not showing.
Yeah.
But
So
I can find
that
that
would
for
be
you.
interesting to find out.
Yeah, to see what percentage of the lot is developable. Is that what you're trying to
Well, not
find out?
just that, but also where the next neighbor ultimately, might be co-located in this neighborhood. Because
I see.
yeah, just because when we start talking about mountain property, we're talking about people that not only want privacy, they want quiet, and they also want a certain amount of distance on their property. They want a certain amount of distance to the next door neighbor. They don't. Someone making this investment is not looking to be right on top of their next door neighbor.
Right.
So it'd be great to
Absolutely.
kind of have a feel for what that actually looks like. So if it's a 20-acre plot, a 10-acre plot, whatever it might be, 5 acres.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will get that information to you.
That's great. Hey,
Great deal. Great deal.
they really are.
Yeah, they're two exciting projects. I'm all in on them. I really believe in them.
They're very nice. Make sure to take a note of the chat.
Okay.
That way you have that.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thank you. Thanks for presenting that. I think that's wonderful. And again, if anyone you might want to share we're seeing what you're doing. You might want to stop sharing.
Oh, okay. How do I stop? I was already gonna stop. How do you stop?
Yeah.
Stop share.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm
Good.
copying everybody's chat before it disappears.
Perfect. No, great. So Paul, tell us, I mean, I know you're working on some projects. Tell us what you're working on.
Yeah, right now I'm still working away on 44 units in Arizona, 2 buildings, a 20 unit, a 24 unit. We're doing a conversion of a handful of units in each building to be furnished apartments as opposed to just renting them out, unfurnished. And this is a little bit of a beta project for our partnership. We are looking to see if the demand for furnished is what we believe our homework is telling us that we've done over the past year. We've been talking to different people, brokers, agents, leasing folks, and even some of the people that live in the community. Would you pay more for this unit had it been furnished? Had it provide, had there been a bed? Had there been a desk? Had there been somewhere, sheets and blankets and towels and pillows. And so this is going to be a beta that we're running basically from now until July 31st of next year. And depending upon how this beta runs, this is an opportunity to see if the demand in this particular, in these 2 communities, how it all turns out. So been very busy with that. And anything else you want me to share about that?
Well, yeah. So are these short terms? I mean, if you're furnishing them, I mean, is this short term or is this long term?
Yeah, so the furnished units, we are willing to go, long term. However, what we're going to do is we're going to using a marketing approach where it's a minimum. So it's a great question. It's minimum of three. So it's got to be a 3 day minimum 2 night stay, and we are willing to do long term extended stays, which would be similar to like your anywhere from 1 to 6 week type of extended stays. Some of the renters who are looking for extended stay can vary between nurses that are attending Banner Health, which is a medical facility that's close to where the apartment communities are located. In addition to that, we think that there might be some traction with folks who are generally just touring and just coming through the city as tourists, just to find somewhere to basically rest their head. But maybe they're doing hiking, maybe they're going to be attending the gem show, maybe they're attending the bike marathon, which the marathon is a huge event. And so it's a kind of combination of like a furnished finder and an Airbnb type of extended stay tenant. And like I said, it's a beta for us. We're about to release it, and we're going to be renting mostly studios.
So are you signing, what kind of contracts are you having the client sign? What kind of like underwrite, what background check, or what are you doing as far as qualifications for the tenant?
Yeah, so with Airbnb, we're using their platform. So in that case, the Airbnb platform is the kind of rulemaking body in order for someone to rent the unit for a stay that's booked directly through Airbnb. So there's not going to be a lease, a traditional lease like you and I might do for someone who maybe wants to do a 6-month lease or a 1-year lease. One of the things that we've incorporated this year is a new type of lease, which we think is a benefit, which allows tenants to end a lease early if they give us 60 days notice. So we're making a very flexible yet long-term lease. So in other words, they're signing a 1-year lease, but it allows the tenant the ability to terminate that lease within 60 days as long as they've given us proper notice. And we feel like by kind of moving in this direction and building in some flexibility and not hand-holding and tying up people, we feel like this is a natural progression to being ultimately almost 100%, I wouldn't say 100%, but almost 100% in the furnished apartment business. But we are, as a company, we're really kind of heading that direction. And we feel like these are just great programs to start with. So there are some other platforms as well. The other platform is furnishedfinder.com. So using the furnishedfinder.com platform, that's an additional way that, again, following their rules and regulations and terms of use, we're following their guidelines to attract those tenants. But any tenant that does, make an offer to stay additionally longer, then what we would do is at this time, we would offer them our traditional lease, which is a lease that as long as they give us 60 days notice, they sign a 12-month lease.
Got it. Does the property need to qualify or approve for permits for Airbnb?
Yeah, that's a question that I can't even answer right now. We're not on the platform yet. We will probably be ready for our first tenants, I would say, realistically in the next 7 to 10 days. Does it need an inspection? I don't know. We're going to have to find that out. What we do know is that, the contractors we've used to remodel our property have done so plumbing, electrical, in accordance with city codes and in accordance with what we call repair and replace permits. So As far as building code obligations and things like that, we're not too concerned about an inspection from that point of view. The other thing that we also have is we have good ingress and egress on our parking and our complex, so to speak. So in other words, for a studio apartment, you only need to have, if you're a certain number of floors, you only need to have one ingress and egress for the city to approve your apartment. Okay, so with the parking allowing double access for ingress and egress, we think we're going to be fine. But more info to come once we get ready to ramp up and once we sign on to Airbnb's platform, because we're almost there. We're just not there yet.
Nice. Well, and it's funny you brought that up, because I just posted on my Instagram platform. I have a single family residence in Las Vegas. It's a professional boxing training camp house that I do short-term leases to the bedrooms. And that's why I was asking, like, do the apartments have to qualify for, like, do you have to pull a permit for Airbnb and certain things like that? Because I think certain properties you do have to. Anyway, I mean, for us, it's just been really more word of mouth, and because we're involved in the professional boxing world, I've been able to, I've been able to run this. And I mean, let me tell you, it's incredible, because we do offer affordable housing, right? I mean, if you're a single guy and you're looking for a place and you want to go rent, you want to go rent a room and be surrounded by maybe other professional boxers, and maybe you even want to train and work out or do certain things. I mean, it's the opportunities there. And I think it just, like you saying what you said regarding, these apartments, I think is fantastic, because I really see the need that there's people that maybe can't tie themselves down to, maybe 3 months or 6 months or even a year, that would probably be happy to be there a week or 2 weeks, and you're still turning the property. I mean, you might do even better with short term, right? Because it's going to cost more. You might do better with short term than long term leasing out of a studio.
Well, let's talk about some quick numbers too. So what we figured out was that the cost to furnish is 1 month's rent. So for a studio, you can plan, because we did the work. We went out, we did the shopping, we bought our, first mattress, our first, bed frame and pillows, pillow sheets, a Keurig desk with furniture, lamps, lights, sheets, everything you would need to furnish a bathroom. So someone can practically just show up. The only thing they need to bring is their toothbrush. And it was about the cost of 1 month's rent. So for the cost of 1 month's rent, we have now a furnished studio apartment. And let's face it, there are challenges in certain cities, no matter where you are. There's challenges with lodging. The last time I tried to stay in one part of Arizona that I had to do a very last minute trip, I was only able to book 3 nights out of my 5-night stay at the hotel, because the hotel was then sold out Thursday through Sunday night of that upcoming weekend. And it was because there was a major event that was taking place in town, and the place had been booked for months and months and months. Well, what it required me to do is it required me to basically find short-term lodging, and Airbnb kind of fills that gap where when you're traveling to some city where you just can't stay at a place, or maybe, maybe the other issue is that the lodging that is available is maybe it's more expensive than maybe your budget allows. There are certain cities that, like, for example, there's certain events like the Kentucky Derby or the Super Bowl, or anything that has to do with the World Cup, certain tennis events, where when they come to town, it's very, very well known that the lodging can be sold out in some cases almost overnight. In Texas, it was not uncommon when South by Southwest took place that if you hadn't booked at least 9 months in advance, you just were not going to stay downtown in Austin downtown because everything booked up so quickly. And you were going to have to probably stay somewhere outside of town. So Airbnb and these furnished finder opportunities are ways to fill in those gaps. And what we're looking to do is we're looking to provide, safe, clean lodging, also affordable, by comparison to, the going rates. And some people just can't, afford in their budget a $300 to $500 night or more. But maybe they can afford something that's $125 or maybe something that's $95. The industry is changing. We are open-minded changing with it. And however we have to adjust to make our business profitable so that essentially, we can put bread on our table. Whatever we have to do that, essentially, I think it's all about looking at what the trends are. And absolutely, the trends are travel is back. The airlines are flying again. They're flying full. They're bringing people to their destinations. We are getting to that point where before the lockdowns, people are they're more than willing to travel. They're more than willing to vacation. And the way we see it is, we have to be prepared as an apartment community to not just rent to the people who, are just looking for a long-term rental, but to the people who are desperately in need of lodging. And if we have an opening, then by all means, we'd like to fill our opening with someone who needs our vacancy. So
I agree. All right, we have a question here from Andrew, who says, I'm working on buying my first multi-family as my primary residence, somewhere in the Bay Area, Northern Cali. What strategies and resources do you recommend for someone looking to gain a better understanding of how to accurately calculate and determine the after repair value of a property in the current market? So multi-family as your primary residence, are you talking 1 to 4 units, Andrew?
Well, and even if they are, it would be perfectly fine, even if they bought a 12 unit, Annabelle. Yeah. I think what they're saying from that sentence is that they like to live in one of the units.
Right, but after repair market value.
Yeah, 1 to 4. There you go.
1 to 4. Okay, very good. So 1 to 4 is different than 12 plus or 6 plus units. So what you want to do, if you're looking to purchase 1 to 4, the after repair value is going to be based on the comparables in the area that you're purchasing. So you have to be careful that you don't overdevelop or over improve on your property, because it's really going to be determined by the other 1 to 4 units that have recently sold in that area. So you want to make sure that you're studying the market, that if you're looking to purchase 1 to 4 units, that the price that even the price that you pay is pretty comparable or, to the others in that area. Multifamily is a little bit different because it's really based on the net operating income that the property produces versus the comparables. So that's the nice thing about multifamily, is that we as owners, if we have an opportunity, if there's room, or what we call value add, if there's room for us to improve the condition of the property, we ultimately increase the income, and then the value of that complex increases as well. I hope I explained.
Directly related. It absolutely, you said it right on the head. The valuation is derived from the amount of income that
produce
comes in from the property.
Correct.
So if you want to get a valuation, you could literally go to almost any broker in the area. If you don't have the tools yourself, you could go to any broker in the area, pick 1, 2, or 3, and let them know, well, this is how much income I believe I'm going to bring in after my expenses. And when you factor in expenses, you're not factoring in your mortgage expense. You're factoring your property insurance, your property tax, and then the utility expenses, and then anything that like you pay in order to bring in tenants, which is the marketing. You know, are you paying commissions? Are you not paying commissions? And whatever that what they call net operating income is, that's going to specifically in a one-to-one relationship, it will tell you exactly what that property would be worth on an after repair basis. Because if you're looking to charge like what Annabelle said, let's just say $3,000 a month for an apartment rental. Well, you know, you just work backwards with your expenses, and whatever that looks like, a broker can tell you. You know, and you know, Annabelle, this is also something that maybe we can talk about in another call, because this is where we're starting to get into things like cap rates, and you know, valuations are tough when people are first trying to get into the business. And I'd even say that to the person asking the question, you may want to just focus on the deal itself and not so much the valuations. Just get to know the deal itself. Like, in other words, how many units is it, and how much square footage is in each unit, and what does the unit entail? Does it entail an interesting floor plan of some kind? Is it an apartment building that's near a stadium, a hospital? What are the kinds of people that are going to live at that apartment building? You know, is it a high-end building? Is it a building that's near a war zone? All those factors come in well before you start asking, you know, what's that after repair value look like? Because when you get to understand who's going to use that building, you'll have a way better understanding of what you can yourself charge as a rent. And if you know what you can charge as a rent, then we can teach you what it's worth.
Right. But going back, since you're looking to purchase 1 to 4 units, it's really not going to be based on the income the property produces. It's going to be based on comps in the area. So
yes, that's true.
Like Paul says, you connect with a real estate agent in that area that can provide you with like real comparables, and you know, not like a number because they want you to buy, but like just get yourself some real comps, and that will help you determine that it's not even after repair value, but it'll just help you determine the value of that property. And let's say you're out looking at a 1 to 4 units and it's going for $1 million, right? 4 units for $1 million, which I probably think is higher in San Francisco, right? Bay Area. But let's just say 4 units, $1 million. And then there's comps in the area that for, let's say 4 units, 950 to $1 million. Well, you're paying market value, right? If that's, so you got to make sure you're looking, you're doing your homework, and someone is checking those values for you.
And Annabelle, guess how many of my last 3 deals I've done that we used an agent in the local neighborhood?
All of them.
All of them. Totally. Like, we use agents all the time. Like it's important to have an agent working for you and trying to help you, because you need that arm's length distance between you and ultimately some seller. If you're going to be a buyer, you need that distance. That distance is important, because your agents can work so much more effectively because those agents don't have any kind of personal attachment to winning a deal. Now, they may be someone who has a winning mentality, but they don't have an emotional attachment to it. They are working for you. And when an agent works for you, it is a totally different experience than when you try to do it yourself. But it's a great question that you've asked, and I think it's something that we should talk about in another call.
Absolutely. Well, I hope that that helped, Andrew. Yep. Perfect. Cool. So, all right, we're coming up to the end of our call. Any last minute questions? No questions. We're
just
good.
Thanking Juliet. Thank you, Juliet, for sharing those deals with us today. Those were great.
Those are
yes,
great.
thank you.
we definitely will explore those some more. I think that there's interest. I think they're great projects. So we'll definitely explore more. And I want to thank everyone on this call. Thank you again for joining us. We meet every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we meet once a month in person if you are in California in Diamond Bar at the Holiday Inn. If you want to come out and meet face to face, please, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to share the link. I probably should have put the link on here, but I'll do it for next time. And anyway, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Juliet. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Annabelle.
See you guys next week. Take care.
Thank you.